So good afternoon, and welcome in the world of confectionery. I am Corinne Gabler, the head of the Global Strategic Business Unit for Confectionery, and I will present to you today some highlights of our global strategy. And then my colleague, Marcelo Melchior, the market head of Nestlé Brazil, will show to you how our biggest market is bringing this strategy to life successfully. So the Nestlé confectionery business is an 8 billion business. It has been growing 8.6% over the past 3 years and 5.8% year to date since the beginning of 2024. We are number 3 in our footprint with 9.5% market shares. Globally, we are number 5 because we exited most of our US business since 2018. We are number 1 in Latin America and in Canada, and Kit Kat is the number 1 chocolate bar outside of the US. We play in a large, resilient, and growing category. Confectionery is expected to grow between 4 and 5% in the upcoming years. It is a category which has a modest downtrading and that people consume occasionally to treat themselves. We have 3 key growth drivers for the future years. Consumers are snacking more and more. Consumers are looking for more variety, and especially Gen Z is looking for new experiences, new flavors, textures. And I will show you later on how several of our innovations are following this trend, and I hope you could try some of them earlier today. We have as well emerging markets growing more strongly and becoming for Nestlé a growth opportunity as we are very well positioned there. When we look at our competitive position, we have a clear strength combining global and local, as Laurent mentioned earlier. Kit Kat is our global iconic brand, and we've been owning the break with Have a Break of the Kit Kat for the past 66 years. We have in R&D a clear superiority in the wafer baking, which is helping our competitive advantage. And on top of this Kit Kat global brand, we are complementing it very well with local jewels. So we have love brands which are very close to the heart of consumers, and that enable us to be close to the consumer trends. And we have application groups locally that can develop quickly some innovations. But we have as well some transversal technologies that we can deploy across several local brands. And you will see tomorrow some of them at the Nestlé Research Center. When we look at these both Kit Kat and the local brands, they are both supported by our leading approach in terms of sustainability. We have the Income Accelerator program, which, for instance, is helping our cocoa farming family to increase their income by 38%. Also, in terms of responsible consumption, we are at the forefront. We've been operating with no marketing to kids for the past 16 years. And now we have very clear commitments in terms of calorie for kids' products below 110 and front-of-pack guidance for all our multi-pack products. Over the last 2 years, focus has been really our biggest priority. We used to manage a very big complexity with more than 200 brands, fragmented investments, and too many small innovations. So really, we've been focusing on making clear brand choices, choosing where we want to invest, then focusing paid media behind these brands, and working on fewer, bigger innovation. But it's a journey, but we see already very positive outcomes. So when it comes to growth, we are growing twice faster with Kit Kat and our chosen local brands than with the rest of the portfolio. We have come now to 90% of media effectiveness. And also we have identified several platforms of innovation that can deliver more than 100 million turnover. And especially our business in Europe went through this transformation and a clear focus on the brand where we want to invest in Europe. We have also divested more than 15 brands in our portfolio, Confectionery Europe. And we have built production hub in order to have more scales behind the platform we want to invest behind. And we have similar results with Kit Kat and the chosen brand growing twice faster than the rest of our portfolio in Europe. When it comes to external impact, we've been operating in high inflation context and also, as you know very well, unprecedented cocoa prices. But we took an approach of moderate pricing, and it has been successful because we had a positive RIG in our 9-month results and also a positive and good organic growth. Obviously, the high cocoa prices will continue in 2025. The good thing is thanks to the strength and the size of Nestlé, and thanks to our ability to focus on the midterm, we have a competitive advantage compared to small players in times of bean shortage and high cocoa prices. But nevertheless, we want to stay competitive. So it is really critical for us to find the sweet spot in terms of pricing, what we call balanced pricing, as much as makes sense, but still looking at the impact on volume and finding this sweet spot. We are playing a lot with strategic revenue management, so finding the right pricing in terms of promotion, the right pack architecture, looking also at entry points, and especially for emerging markets, looking at the absolute amounts that consumer can afford. We are playing the mix, be it in terms of portfolio, customer, and channel, but also in terms of innovation. So we are valuing up, but we are as well looking at innovations with lower cocoa content. And sometimes, as you saw with Choco Bakery products, we can even do both at the same time. We keep on working on efficiencies, and we will benefit from those from the group that Laurent mentioned earlier. But we are also looking at our own efficiencies in confectionery, as we have to generate money we want to invest. So in 2024, we will have a moderate impact on our profits, but it has been already taken into account in the guidance at group level. So we want to keep investing behind our brands. So next year, we will keep pricing and working on efficiencies to make sure that we protect our margins. And the equation is not an easy one, but we have shown so far that we can manage it, and we are confident that we can manage it further next year. So our strategy is focused on four key growth drivers. Further accelerate KitKat, win with regional local jewels, pursue our value-up journey, and accelerate emerging markets. And now I will give you more details on each of those four pillars. When it comes to KitKat, we want to keep growing KitKat as iconic brand owning the break. So we've been growing double-digit in the past, and we want to pursue this growth in the future while keeping winning market shares. We've been growing in both developed and developing markets, and we believe we can continue to do so. But we want as well to accelerate geographies like India, Latin America, Turkey. And this will be done by investing even more. So we have already recovered the level of marketing investment that we had before COVID, but we want to go even further. We want to accelerate and to go to what we call excessive share of voice, even if it's actually within classical media, but also on digital. But we want really to overinvest to reach the full potential of KitKat. We have now increased manufacturing capacity, which will enable to support this growth ambition. So how we want to do that? So we want to really to leverage more the power of global on this global brand. So we studied a lot about consumer and the break because we thought that consumers are not taking enough breaks. And actually, we saw that it's not the case. Consumers are taking breaks, but the quality of their break is compromised because they're always doing something else. And I think you are experiencing it yourself probably. We are on the break, but we are on our phone, we are answering to an email, we are doing 10 things at a time. So the quality of the break is becoming critical, and KitKat is supporting consumers to do so in a new campaign. It's a global one that will have a global framework and then some local executions, as you could see on the screen when you entered the room. We will leverage the song of Queen, I Want to Break Free, and we will have only top quality assets. And you could see now our global campaign in the market where we tested, 90% of our copies are in the top quartile of asset quality. We are also moving from local partnership to global ones. So this year we partnered with Candy Crush. It was a partnership that enables us to activate the game in store, but also we were the first chocolate bar within the game of Candy Crush. And this has been done in 40 markets globally. And then we moved to the next level with the partnership with Formula One. So we've just signed a deal to be the chocolate bar of the Formula One for 3 years. And it's a sport which has a growing base of fans, 700 million globally. And it will enable us to accelerate both the growth and the brand equity of KitKat in the future. We want as well to expand the brand into new occasions. So first within chocolate, but in other need states. So if you look at KitKat, which is consumed more for having a break by individuals, now we are moving into a sharing need states with the tablets. And we are delivering this multi-texture and this experience I was mentioning earlier and that you will be able to try tomorrow. So this is great because it's a 100 million platform and it's really incremental business for the brand. We are also expanding beyond chocolate, so in ice cream, for instance, with a very successful KitKat ice cream, but also in hot beverages. Now, when we look at how to win with the local jewels, we've been going through a very fact-based analysis of which are these jewels. And we've chosen brands which have a high awareness, which are loved by consumers, have high repeat purchase thanks to their great quality, have a high CMC enabling investment, and also ability to grow. And these are the brands behind which we want to invest now. And we want to have 95% of our paid media behind KitKat and these chosen brands. When it comes to our value-up journey, we are very happy to have a base of mainstream brands which are loved by consumers, because this base is very solid and very appreciated in times of economic crisis. But we want to value up, and we are bringing added value to consumers that they are ready to pay for. We are going under the platform of Choco Bakery, under Nestlé in Latin America, and under Milo as well in ASEAN, with huge potential of growth for these platforms. We are also going even stronger into seasonal, which is a very nice opportunity where consumers are more emotionally linked to the product and are ready to pay more for this type of product. And the ultimate premiumization is the boutique, and Marcelo will come to it in a minute on what we are doing in LATAM. When it comes to accelerating emerging markets, it's a key priority for us. Nestlé is very well positioned in emerging markets, but we still have room to grow. And we want to do so with KitKat, obviously, but also with the local chosen brands like Damak in Turkey, like Munch in India, Sufushi and Shark in China, Milo in ASEAN. And we will win because of increased investment, but also increased distribution, because we still have a lot of potential in gaining further numeric distribution. We will have also tailored offer for specific channels, which are growing very fast, like the specialty snacking channel in China, or some boutiques in LATAM. So now that you have seen the overall approach, Marcelo will show to you how they are deploying it very successfully in Brazil.
Thank you, Corinne. So I'll give you more flavor on how we do it and how we implement it in the local market, what it is, this global strategy in confectionery. So we are going to talk about KitKat. The local jewels in the case of Brazil is Nestlé and Garoto, and how we pursue the value-up journey with the Choco Bakery, but also with the chocolatier boutiques. That is very, very specific for Brazil. So first, as Case did also, I'm going to explain a little bit what is Nestlé Brazil. So we have a flavor, what is Nestlé in Brazil. First, nobody knows it's a Swiss company. We have been there for 103 years. So nobody was born when Nestlé first established in the country. No? So we have 99% of in-home penetration. Virtually every single home in Brazil has a Nestlé product. We are top of mind in many categories. We lead in 15 of the categories where we play, and we have 22 million consumers in our digital base that we interact with them. But then how we do the implementation there? Our implementation is absolutely data-driven. We have, as we speak now, we have the data of the sellout of last week. This is an absolute competitive advantage. But the best competitive advantage is not only this, is that we can project the next 12 weeks. We have the numbers of us, not the competitors, but it's enough for us to know that in a week in the future, 52 or the third week of the next year, we have a challenge, so we can act as a leading indicator and not just crying because we had a bad week or something like this. So this is absolutely a competitive advantage. So we act as a small, very agile company, being a big Nestlé company there. But then we have a sales force that acts absolutely as one Nestlé. And we win where the sales force must win. For example, in the pharmacy channel, the people that manage the total Nestlé portfolio is Nestlé Nutrition, because we have a better ability to win. We are not going to visit the pharmacy with 5 different sales representatives. So we simplify towards the outside, and we don't bring our complexity to the outside world. This is also very important. And we are, of course, we achieve 600,000 point of sales every month. And we have been chosen as the best supplier of our customers in the Advantage Group. So we are very proud of that. This is really thinking on how to win outside. And of course, our executions, I mean, our merchandisers are not merchandisers. They are engineers, architects, aviators. They do fantastic things at the point of sales that it's absolutely unmatched. But let's go back to KitKat. KitKat has a history in Brazil that now we see all the glories, but we tried 3 times. The first 2 times, we wanted to cut some corners, do the things the way we did. The second time, you have an idea, we were importing from Russia the product. And of course, you had to give your salary to buy a KitKat. So it was something very challenging. And when we decided to do it the right way, so we invested, we committed, and then we started to have a fantastic success. Today we have 4 big lines of KitKat. We are, according to the Brazilians, #1, but according to the Brits, #2 in terms of KitKat capacity worldwide, manufacturing capacity. And we have been very close to our consumers. We have been recruiting Gen Z from day 1. We are very close to all the festivals, Rock in Rio, the town. We are very close to our consumers. And we, of course, you can see again, our executions on the point of sales are absolutely astounding. And when we talk local jewels, we realized that we had a great ability to win. From Rio to the north, the yellow part is Garoto territory. So let's focus on Garoto there. And from São Paulo downwards is Nestlé territory. And we focus on Nestlé. But this does not mean that we don't work together. The innovations are in the same platforms of technology. We simply implement under Garoto, you can see here on the bottom to the right, when we have the Choco Trio, the biscuits there, we bring these in the north under Garoto, in the south under Nestlé. And this makes us absolutely execution powerhouse. And of course, in terms of communications, Nestlé is much more on the Big Brother and all this kind of sponsorship, and Garoto is much more into the regional, very important festivals in the north or northeast of the country. And the results are also astounding. And when we talk to our value up strategy, you saw in the outside, the Choco Trio has been also a fantastic success. But here also, we failed at the beginning. Because the normal idea is, let's put a biscuit together in the tablet. And suddenly, the tablet looked like a canoe. Because the different densities of the product made that you could not have enough. Instead of giving up, said, okay, let's put some cream in between, and this solves the problem. And this made even a bigger competitive advantage against the competition. It's not so easy to do it. So we are there, and it's working very, very well. So this Choco Biscuits or Choco Bakery journey is to bring the best of biscuits into with all that we have in the chocolate part, and how we can work together on this and make a success. Also, it helps to have a bigger size impression, but also better heat resistant in the product. So these are the things that we are bringing all the time, and now we are the manufacturing hub for all LATAM in these technologies. Corinne mentioned boutiques. Last year, we acquired a brand called Copenhagen that is 100 years old, 97 years old, exists in the market, and it's the symbol of a chocolatier boutique in Brazil, of premiumization, but it's not as a small boutique chain. We are talking about 1,300 boutiques throughout the country. Only this year, we opened 212 new boutiques. So it's a booming segment with a lot of potential even to grow and to have a better success. And we also were very interested because 62% of all the tickets in the boutiques, they come with a coffee. So the coffee is the reason why you go every day to this boutique, to have a coffee after lunch with a small chocolate and all that. So like this, you have your dessert and you feel good. And this allows us to have a possibility to sell extra products. And these products are 5 times more expensive than a normal chocolate in the retail environment. So it's really a creation of value that is working very well. So, and of course, we also have an ecosystem of a loyalty program, and it's really developing very much. The last thing I wanted to share with you is that you all know that we, in LATAM, we have been implementing the Nestlé virtual circle for a long time. And this is a reality. And the good thing about the virtual circle, it doesn't sound sexy because it's too simple. But this is the genius of it, because you can explain to everyone and everyone is on board. From the simplest person in the factory or in the point of sales to the head of market, and we understand everybody how we do it. And then you bring the virtual circle together, alive, by some very precise meetings during the week, the day, the week, and the month. Looks bureaucratic, but it gives the company a great sense of urgency and speed. You remove every day, every week, and every month all the blocks on the way, and you can accelerate and implement the next challenge. Since it is a wheel, you will always have challenges because you never finish. You just do it and you keep improving. So just to give you an example, we have reduced 34% of our SKUs in confectionery, only in confectionery. Our factories are best in class. Our factories is really, you think you are in one of those sci-fi movies because you have a lot of robots walking around alone and all these kind of things. We have an automation of 82% in our confectionery factories. We have an 87% of capacity utilization and 88% what we call asset intensity. Then we can explain afterwards what it means. We have prioritized our PFME investments in 3 brands: Kit Kat, Nestlé, and Garoto. Like this, we are also very focused. We have other brands in confectionery, but we only focus on these 3. And we invest more than any competitor in the market. And the market share. The market share is a story of success in confectionery in Brazil, that we used to be 15% bigger than our main competitor in Brazil. Now we are 40% bigger than them. And we are navigating always to improve this level. And the competitor is a good competitor, which is good for us to have someone that keep us on our toes so we cannot feel complacent. And we have been accretive in terms of growth and accretive in terms of profitability in the confectionery world for Nestlé. So I wanted to share with you because this virtual circle is not PowerPoint. This virtual circle, you're all invited to come, and we are going to show you how it works in reality, what are the good, the bad, and the ugly that we are every day working in order to improve. So with that, Corinne.
For the good. Thank you. So to summarize, we showed to you that we are playing in a very attractive category. We are number 3 in our footprint, and KitKat is the number 1 chocolate bar globally. We are leveraging the strengths of Nestlé, which is made of global and local. We are focusing on 4 growth drivers in a sustainable and responsible way, and these are further accelerate KitKat, our iconic global brands, making choices and focusing investments behind our chosen local jewels, pursuing our value-up journey, and accelerating emerging markets, like you saw the case brilliantly explained by Brazil. Now it's time for questions for us and our food colleagues, and I hope you have many. Thank you.